Hey, what's up everybody? Nexel here. So this is gonna be the video on the guide to the legendary mission on the hide and seek with Alice event that's going on. This is pretty much, I'm only gonna go over the legendary one just because the other ones shouldn't be too hard if you've been playing the game moderately. But this one does cause some problems, especially for the free-to-play players, because you've got a lot of enemies who are strong and well, yeah, that's pretty much it. You have to have kind of a strategy going into this one, because you're wasting 30 AP just to do it once. And, you know, the prize pool might not be even worth, you know, the 10 extra AP from this one. But anyways, let's go over this and how I did it. So I'm going to go over my equipment that I used first. Alright, actually, let me swap one of these out. Alright, so regardless if you're a reoccurring player or a free-to-play player, the setup I would recommend would be something along these lines here. So you're gonna need a buff medal just to, you know, up your attacks and everything. Because odds are you're gonna want to try and one-turn kill everything that you possibly can, especially the dark plant and the final target, heartless fight. Yeah, the final target. Heartless fight. Man, there's got to be a different word for that. But then the next medal I put on here is this Riku, and the only reason for that is that it's area of effect in case I need it. But the enemies are blue enemies, so it's going to be resistant to the red. Not only that, the only reason I put it there is because it's also one of my strongest red medals, minus the Mickey that I'm going to go over in a bit. So yeah, I just used it for the power boost. The next medal is going to be this Kyrie medal, and this is really just for buffing this Mickey. So the Kyrie only works for itself and the next medal, so it was important that I put it on this slot, even though this slot is a green slot. But all for this guy here. So this Mickey is pretty much how I got out of the entire mission, like how I was able to do it. It's really good for just running over hordes of enemies really fast. I also gave it the plus 1000 power and defense. And attack boost too, just to, you know, squeeze the extra damage out. Lastly, if you're a free-to-play player, this guy is probably gonna be your best friend for the mission. Just because it hits everything. Since it's a free medal, it is easy to guilt, relatively, because you can farm for the medals to guilt it. And yeah, this guy's probably going to be your best bet. If you're a free-to-play player, you could probably switch it up so that, you know, your skill set sort of looks something like this. Hang on. Let's see, where are ya? Or, you know, some variation of this. Like, if you're a free-to-play player, odds are you haven't gotten all the costumes. So let's throw you here, and it'll give pretty much the same effect, since the Aerith was only used for buffing. Obviously, Black Coat Mickey wouldn't be there. You'd have something else, like, let's say, you know, if you did the event, you could get 3D Riku on there, instead of Kingdom Hearts Riku, you could sub in the Waka. Something like that. And as you can see, you know, my cost is still pretty low-ish. You should have used some Sid medals at least. On, you know, something. The only Sid medals that are on this Keyblade right now are for 3D Riku and Sora version A. But yeah, this would be my recommended setup if you're a free-to-play player. If you don't have Aerith, you can easily use, you know, a Diz or a Vivi, or even Kingdom Hearts 2 Kairi, since she'd buff all your speed medals up. But anyways, let's switch back to my original assortment. Alright, and with that, let's get straight into this quest here. That should be fine. Alright, so let's pick the green metal. Just so you know, in case I need to punch out some extra damage at the end there. So pretty much, if you're a free-to-play player, hopefully you actually have multiple gilted Soras by this point in the game. You might not, especially if you're you're like recent to playing this game. And odds are you shouldn't be doing the level 130 mission if you are. But if you've been playing moderately, hopefully you have a few of these Soras just kicking in the back. Alright, so it is important to note that the mission objectives, none of them are defeat all targets within one turn. So it's just the target enemy. So you could pretty much ram your metal straight into all the dark balls and the mage fights that you're going to be doing. Just to save your SP for the fights that you're going to really need them for. Alright, now this is going to be kind of a difficult fight to explain. So pretty much these two flowers on the right here are asleep as long as you don't hit them. Which is kind of confusing. I don't know why they did that. But one of your objectives is to take out the dark plant within one turn. Now that means you only need to take out the purple plant. You don't need to take out the other two within the first turn. Alright, but I'm going to try and do it just so I can get rid of everything all at once. So this is going to be one of the fights where you're going to use pretty much your SP gauges. Alright, well that didn't work according to plan. Let's see here. Alright, so originally what I used for this mission, because I'm actually using an augmented setup from what I used the first time, I had a Limit Form Sora on here to push out that extra damage for the Dark Plant. Because again, it's important to defeat the Dark Plant in one turn, but the other two you could get away with, you know, just whittling them down. Sorry I didn't, kill it in one turn as expected. I guess I was hoping that the Attack Boost 2 would proc up for me. Alright, so for back to the regular Heartless, again, you're just going to ram your metals into them to save your SP for the fights you're going to need. The fights you're going to need to use them for. Wow, I realized I didn't complete that. Don't really worry about your HP too much. Because there are heal chests on the way, so there's one up there, and then there was a second one right here. I guess I used it. But yeah, there's 2 heal chests in here and 2 SP gauge refill chests. So let me just beat these guys up. Again, since that one plant is asleep, you can pretty much beat up the Dark Ball before even waking it up. So don't try to use area of effect moves here, otherwise you're going to wake it up and then you're just going to get hit for extra damage. Alright, so again, there's a heal chest here. There's the SP gauge refill 1 here, and then there's a second one. There's a second one right here. So this one, I believed, healed 6 gauges, whereas the other one only heals like 1 or 2, so nothing too big. But it should be helpful in the long run. Alright, so for your target mission, it is one of those defeat all target enemies within 1 turn. So what I did for this one is that I buffed with the Aerith or whatever I had. You know, went in with the Area of Effect move. And then obviously used the 2-piece combo of Kairi and Black Coat Mickey. And more often than not, that does enough damage for me to just go single attacks for the rest of it. But for free-to-play players, I definitely recommend just using the free Sora version A that you can get in the game. Hopefully, again, it is guilted by this time, just because it'll be the most useful to you then. Alright, so these are our rewards for the mission. Pretty much you get anywhere between 4 to 5 of the playing cards and Queen of Hearts medals combined. The thing about the medals is that I've sometimes gotten a spread of just 5 3-star medals, but occasionally you'll get the 4-star one, like this playing card one right here. For experience medals, you don't ever get 6-star ones, but you get anywhere between 2 to 4 of the 5-star ones, and very rarely are you going to get the 3-star ones. So pretty much that's going to be my strategy for this mission and doing it repeatedly. Again, for free-to-play players, I would recommend that... Oh, nuts. Alright, well anyways, for the free-to-play players, I definitely recommend at least 2 copies of this guy, for sure. If anything, go ahead and use your Lady Luck, and just fill it up with green medals, because that's another way to go about this mission, too. I personally like using Olympia just because it's safe to have extra SP gauges, as well as, for anyone who uses Olympia, really you're using it for this Black Coat Mickey combo for the most part. But yeah, I could also recommend, you know, using Lady Luck, just loading it up with green medals, and then just using Area of Attack, or Area of Effect attacks, and again, this guy right here is going to be your main piece. But yep, that's it for my guide on the Legendary mission for the Hide and Seek event. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, hopefully you found it useful. And, you know, I'm going to try and guilt out these medals so I can give you guys an example of, you know, how they are, if I think they're worth it, if I think they're worth the time and the experience and the money. But as you can see, it's actually kind of difficult to get all the pieces. So it's hard to get a 6-star version of this, just because you have to use these guys to evolve the Queen of Hearts, and it's a really, like, weird system that is very difficult. I'll just explain it in a different video altogether. But with that being said, that concludes my guide for this mission. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and until next time, take it easy, guys.